It's King Boi. A whole 9 days. Oh. Hold up, boys. Shoot. I don't even know. There's no script to this episode. There's no script. There's no script. But here, I am here to give you, in honor of episode 80 of Kings Boi being released like 9 days ago. I don't care. I don't freaking care. I am dedicating a whole video, or like a whole thing, of where I'm going to reveal Kings Boi secrets. But I'm going to do and this is inspired by a Monster Island Buddies, his like videos where he did the secrets on his episodes of Monster Island Buddies, you know what I mean. And just like what I'm going to do, to make it easier on myself, I'm going to do the seasons separately, and then I'll do the movies. As in you know what I mean. So, we're going to start with episode 1. Season 1. Season 1.
Oh, I can't miss. Alright, I made it. What are we watching today?
Okay, believe me when I say this, episode 1 was made before I started YouTube. And I know that my channel said it was created on Christmas in 2017, but that was when the channel was created, not when it started. And I know that that episode 1 says it was uploaded in like June 2019, but it was actually recorded in around 2018 of August. This was recorded like around at night. It wasn't obvious already. When I was about to start middle school, around 7th grade. So that made me around like 12, I guess. I don't know. And I was recording this on my tablet that I got on the same day on Christmas. On that same day in 2017 on Christmas. And this was a thing I recorded before I went back. And I just thought, you know what, I'm just gonna go crazy for my last day of summer vacation before I start middle school. And then this is the thing that I came up with. This just complete madhouse of a video. Also, if you've noticed that Krika and Croc aren't here, but Thomas and Orion are, it's mostly because, like, I have a little thing, is that of where Krika was involved in a firework accident that landed him to be injured for a little bit, so Croc watched over him as he tried to heal, or healed, I don't even know, again, this is not scripted, but, yeah, but then as that happened, Orion just went on and did the movies. You also love how some of these characters that in the show either just survived and became like side characters in the show as it went on, and some of them just never came back. Like Harry Boy, that tiny little robot that you can kind of see, Sonic or Sonic, you know what I mean? They never come back. I don't know if anybody else is in this, but like other than those three that I remember. But it's funny that those are the characters that never came back after this single episode. Now, if you've seen the video, you'll probably, or if you haven't, or whatever, then you're probably noticing how I'm able to make this video with this much energy, as if I was a kid on a sugar rush. Well, here's the deal, I wasn't on a sugar rush. It wasn't any candy I ate before I recorded this, or it wasn't even the popcorn. I was just born with this much energy. Like, I just for some reason had a lot of energy built up. So then I thought, so then it's just like, yeah. I don't have as much energy as I do now. I still have like some kind of crazy moments like this. But nowadays it's just like, I'm basically Kratos from God of War 2018, of where he's mostly calm, but just has some moments of where he's going, all of that stuff. That DVD that Orion has, that he puts into, you know, I still have that DVD to this day. And it was given to me by my school, although I accidentally kind of stole it. I say accident, kind of. Mostly because I didn't realize I still had it. Because my teacher allowed me to borrow them, and then I accidentally just didn't realize I still had one of them. And I don't know why I didn't return it. And that collection was like some sort of educational, like life lessons or whatever. Like how to do homework, how to deal with like girls that don't know how to do life or whatever because they're too popular for anybody. How to deal with divorce and all of that. I'm not going to go too deep into it, but I have pretty much all the DVDs in which you can see in like Movies 5 but Orion's having a nightmare, which was probably originally going to be what the Movies 5 was, but I don't know. This is based off of memory, but we're not talking about the Movies 5. We're talking about Season 1.
It's time for a nice, calm, crazy time with Thomas.
Right here, when Thomas says it's time for a nice, calm, crazy time with him, you'll notice that my voice has gotten like somewhat quieter and more calm. Is because one of my parents told me that I needed to calm down, and it really showed that I need to calm down. So yeah, I obviously calm down, but I continue on with it.
Hey, I didn't realize he was a cat.
So I guess you could say that this is where the whole thing just kind of settles down.
Notice anything different? Lamp? Awesome.
Those lamps, I do not have those lamps anymore, and obviously, if it wasn't obvious, the way my room looks in this, then looks way different than it does now. This is back when my bed just took up like around 75% of the room. I don't have that TV anymore, I don't have that desk on the left over there anymore, the shelf wasn't there, or I don't even know. And that bed now has a whole bed set instead of just being just like that. This part with Mr. Incredible is kind of a long story, but back before I started YouTube, I actually kind of did plan some sort of sequel to this, but it wasn't like the movies too, but it was just like some sort of, basically the pre-end of days, before like I even thought of the end of days, of where that weird stuff that Thomas had, it was going to possess that Mr. Incredible, and it turned him evil or whatever. And then there's going to be like some sort of whole villain plot or whatever. I don't even know. I didn't even work on it. I didn't even think of anything for it. It's just, that's all I did. And yes, there was a post-credit scene of where that white stuff that Thomas had did possess him. But when I was editing this, I just took it out because it wouldn't make much sense. This fireworks show was at like a neighborhood that one of my family members was living at. And then we went there to watch it. So then I just decided to record it and just decided to bring a figure with me just to record it, or I don't even know. And if you notice that it's a Freddy Fazbear figure, and if you look very closely or just brighten it up if you even can see anything other than the fireworks, it is actually the same Freddy figure that I used as Freddy in Kings Boys for some parts, I'm pretty sure. I don't know, it's been a while. Also, if you hear a child voice in the background, if it isn't obvious, then I'm sorry, that's my younger sibling, that's my little brother. But he does quiet down later on. But that's fine. And the person that you see kind of right in the front is my older sister, which she is sadly no longer in this house, but I'm not going to too deep into it because it's personal. This episode really doesn't have much to it, so I would probably just say it's okay for you to skip it if you even want to. Although if you just want to watch some sort of fireworks show with a weird blur just trying to block off the thing, then just go on right ahead. Episode 3 is where I actually started recording actual proper episodes for the series. For this time, it's mostly focused on Orion, as if we didn't focus on him on the first movies. Also, if you've noticed that some of these videos take place in the living room, well, that's because that I wasn't allowed to have my phone in my room back then. So whenever my dad went to work, or when my mom went to the store, I was basically home alone for a little bit. So then just thought, you know, I'm just going to have this time to record. So then this is where I was actually able to record something. I still have that NECA G62 figure to this day. And obviously, as you see there, his fingers easily came off for some reason. But later on, I've fixed that issue where they stay on no matter what I do. Although if I threw them on the ground too hard, but you know what I mean. And also, if you haven't seen at all, but one of his elbows was pretty hard to bend. But then later on, I also fixed that, and he's still solid. His accessories still in one piece. He's still in one piece. All of them still one piece. You know what? Yeah. If you see two dogs in this video, and if you're wondering, if you even are wondering, yes, surprisingly, those two are still alive as of the making of this recording. As of the making of this. They are still living. They are still breathing, just older. They're still walking, they're still running, they're still barking, they're still eating, they're still drinking, all that. But jeez, you can see right in the center, that was my attempt to try and put in a sound effect, but that was just me trying to hide the video, because it was like a layer or something. And if it wasn't obvious, that sound was the G54 atomic breath heat, right? You know what I mean? Sound effect. Yeah. This weird cooking video with the weird noises, I cannot find it. I tried to put it in the description to credit the original creator, but I cannot find it. This movie Orion's watching, if it wasn't obvious, like when you saw, is like some sort of movie called Shorts, and it was made by the person that made Shark Boy and Lava Girl. I don't know.
We're playing the crappy Transformers show that we never should have had existed.
Okay, this episode, I freaking really don't care if you guys just want to skip it, because this really just is nothing. It's mostly just some sort of crappy gameplay video of two Transformers games, and that's it. And the two Transformers figures, or the two figures, you know what I mean? The two figures in the background that you hear is two one-step changer figures. I don't know what they are, but I'll try and show them on screen. And I'm pretty sure it was recorded at the same time as I recorded that Transformers Sorta in a Nutshell video. But with this, there's really nothing much to say about it. It's just me playing some Robots in Disguise mobile game, and Angry Birds Transformers. Really, really nothing to say about this. Other than the fact that you can just pretty much skip it and not remember anything about it.
Hey guys, welcome to another video.
Ooh boy, Orion vs. Supermoon. Probably one of my favorites that I've made on this channel, where it kind of started this whole thing of where Orion just kind of likes to cook, even though it barely even shows up anymore. But yeah, this one was kind of fun to make from what I remember. And yes, it did say in the video, it said Orion Pax, because that was his... Originally, he was going to be the son of Optimus, but then I just changed it to where he's just named Orion. He doesn't have a last name, his name is just Orion. I know, creativity at its best. In this, I originally had it to where Supermoon was supposed to be some sort of idiot of the series, but I don't remember that much about it, since this has been like 5 years. But that's really all I remember. But then he later on just turned into some sort of inventor, where he just makes a robot, as you've seen him with a couple of times before in some episodes. But at least he don't have a freaking copy of Captain Pump. Unlike a show where it just copies a snake inventor and pastes him and turns him into some sort of fish inventor. SpaghettiOs are good. You don't know. If you guys haven't tried SpaghettiOs, then I do recommend it. They are the good kind of microwavable food. You guys don't know what you're missing out on. Okay. Now, before we get onto this, you can see that this is the tablet that I used to record the first movies. And you can see some sort of projects on there that never either just... or sadly now just gone, or just some that actually survived somewhat. And the movies was one of them. Now, as you can see, it says Krika vs. Coraline. And this is mostly kind of a remake. But it's mostly a remake... let me explain. So back then, before I started YouTube, I made like these videos, because of course back then I used to hate Coraline, the movie. So then I just did this thing of where I had Krika and Thomas, mostly Krika and Thomas, before I added Orion and Croc, of where those two would watch the movie and just make some stupid jokes, basically what they do in this. And then I made 2 of them, I'm pretty sure, maybe 2 or 4, I don't remember. But one of them was a music video, of where the music was I Can't Fix You from Living Tombstone, which is a good piece of music, by the way. And I originally planned to remake it with the footage from this, but then I just canceled it because I just felt like it was just kind of stupid.
The movie that brought up the Movie Busters. Movie Busters? Oh wait, what's great?
When Thomas brings up the Movie Busters, it was like some sort of idea that I had in the old days, before I started YouTube, back in the Krika vs. Coraline videos that I made. And I love how after this, it never gets brought up again. Because later on, I thought, oh, the Movie Busters sounds like a stupid idea. So then I just thought, yeah, I'll just can it. Although it's kind of nice to just look back at it. It's just a stupid idea that I thought was going to go somewhere. But it never did.
Oh my god, I think Krika has gone berserk.
If some of you are wondering why I used to hate Coraline back then it's probably because of how Coraline acted in the movie. I'm not saying the acting was bad, but it's just the way they just wrote her to be like some sort of like just freaking brat or something like that. I know she changed later on, but I'm guessing it just made me hold a grudge. I don't know. Well, really, I'm not going to go too deep into that because, again, these Kings Boi. These Kings Bois, we're not going to see some weird... Yeah. So this episode was originally supposed to be a review of the movie, where it still had Orion and all that, but then I just changed it to where it's just him watching the movie. Why? I do not know why. It's just him watching the movie with some jokes.
Hey kid, that's Santa.
There's really nothing else to say about this, other than the fact that I used to not like this movie or just hated it. But nowadays, I just don't care about it. I just don't care. Oh jeez, this post-credit scene. So the image that you see is like sort of picture or like a part of a Transformers Prime episode of where it's like they all get infected with some sort of like they turn into zombies basically. They turn into zombies, and I just thought, oh, that looks scary. I'll use it for a post-credit scene for the end of days, and I hate it. I hate it. I just regret it. I just regret it now.
Who the frick?
Alright, so now episodes 8 through 11, or also known as At School, parts 1 through 4. I do not know what to say about these. These were, all I can say is that it was like a 4-day week because we were on break on Monday, or Friday, I don't remember. And this is when I was in middle school, obviously. So then I just made these episodes, and it was with Universe Happens. And it was around at the end of the day when we were about to go home.
She's the ghost I'm talking about.
I'm gonna be honest, I don't necessarily remember why Orion brought up the witch from Paranorman. I don't know why he did. I felt like that was gonna go somewhere by that time, but now it just went absolutely nowhere. It wasn't mentioned ever again after this. It wasn't in the movies. It wasn't even brought up in an episode or anything. It just never, ever happened. Ooh, doggy. 2 idiots versus a giant scorpion. Now this one, you can kind of see what my basement used to look like, in which it looks way different than it does now. Because back then my dad did this whole game collection, and now he just sold the collection, and now it just looks like some regular just basement. That Lego Scorpion was from some sort of Lego creator set called Red Creatures, in which it had 3 builds, and the Scorpion was one of them. And obviously it has different colors, because obviously all Lego sets don't last forever. At least as if you're like an infant that just didn't know how to keep a Lego set built in like a month. And also, if you recall, there is another Scorpion in this series, who is Scorpio, aka that 4-legged Scorpion that you see with Pump in some episodes. Well, let me tell you, this Scorpion in this episode is his daddy. Now let me explain. So, in this part, that's his dad, and like they were hunting, and then they see Krika and Orion, and then the dad tries to hunt them down or kill them, you know what I mean? Because they needed food. But obviously, as you can see, they both die. Like, they both kill him. So that means that Scorpio is just living on his own, and then later on, he came across Pump, in which Pump later adopts him, and then, yeah. So, if you ever wanted to know where Scorpio came from, or what his origin is, then that's it. Why I didn't explain it in the video, I have no idea. Or at least a previous video, whatever.
Where's Rodan? He said he'd be here.
I'm going to be brutally honest with you guys. I don't know what to say about this episode. Planning and reaction, there's really nothing much to it. It's just them talking about the next episode, aka the birthday episode. But at least it's the first appearance of the tiny Goji and the mini Rhodey. Well, that's really it. There's nothing much to it other than the fact that they're just watching Jeopardy around at the end, and that's it. And there's the outside. A little thing about the title is that the title is a reference to like a skit at the beginning of a review video for the NECA Rodan figure by a channel named Super Unimportant Reviews. I recommend you check them out, and the channel that they have now moved to called The Geek Chest. And in the skit at the beginning, it was Zilla singing the Blue Oyster Godzilla song, and then I'll just show a clip of it.
With a purposeful grimace and a terrible sound, it quells the city hot tension wise down. Oh no, they say he's got to go Rodan!
I just thought to reference that since he's a new character that's been introduced, and obviously if it wasn't obvious, then I got him for my birthday.
Are you sure?
Jeez, okay. Here's the thing that annoys me with my older videos, mostly like the older episodes, is the fact that I did not bother to just focus the camera on the thing that it's supposed to be focusing on, like right here with the Rodan. Rodan. It bugs me so much because it's supposed to look like it's supposed to focus on him, but I didn't even bother to focus on him. I know I was like around like 13 when I made this, like 13, 14. I don't know, but this is just lazy. I don't even try.
Thank you everyone for attending the new 2019 sequel to the movies, even though that has been like an entire year since the last update, so I'm going to be...
The Movies 2, aka the Season 1 finale, aka Episode 15, aka my favorite Kings Boys episode. Yeah, if you ever ask me which Kings Boys episode is my favorite, the Movies 2 is personally my favorite out of all of them. And probably my favorite movies, like the movies movie in the full like movies franchise, if that even made sense of what I just said. I recorded this on a birthday night, like a birthday party that I had on the weekend because my birthday was on a Sunday at that time. So then I invited Universe Happens over, and as you can see, he was going to record a video for his Kaiwood series, but then he just canceled it mid-recording as I was recording this. And then we just had a little bit of fun, and this was legit fun to make when I was recording it. When me and him were just doing our things. It was real fun.
And the funnel! The size!
Why do you break the fourth wall?
And also, this episode is kind of what set the whole theme of the whole franchise of the movies. Of where in movies 1, it was just settled that I was going to be watching random movies. Which is why it showed like Wallace and Gromit: A Grand Day Out, and then like Bullies Are a Pain in the Brain. And why this one started out with just watching All Engines, Calling All Engines. And then it just switched to Princess and the Frog. And then after that, that was when, okay, yeah, this is what it's going to be settled on throughout the entire movies franchise. Where it's just going to be me watching movies that I just dislike or just hate. In which the Movies 3 will be my least favorite, and you will soon see why in a future video whenever I do Easter eggs and behind-the-scenes stuff on all the movies. But you know what I mean. That weird figure that Universe Happens is controlling or whatever, believe it or not, that was what Typhoon was originally supposed to look like. Yeah, I'm not kidding. I'm not kidding. That was what he originally was supposed to look like. And these weird long spikes on his hands, had 3 heads, although his middle head remained the same look as it did in the actual final product. And Season 6. But just think about it. Typhoon was originally going to have 3 heads. But obviously I just decided to scrap it, and that's how he just turned out the way he looked.
And that, my friends, was the entirety of what I can remember secrets from Season 1 of the Kings Boys. And will I be doing Season 2? Maybe. It depends on how good this will do. I'll tell you what, if this gets to at least around like 30 views or so, considering that Kings Boys is... But if it gets to a certain amount of views, like let's say 30 or maybe even 50, I don't know, then I will do Season 2. Although to be fair, I don't even know. Okay, this is not scripted. These are not scripted. This is not scripted. So yeah, I have a. There it is.